The Port Orchard City Council meeting for June 9th. And in the actions that we're about to take, I'd like to remind us of our guiding principles. Are we raising the bar in our actions? Are we honoring the past but not living in the past? Are we building positive connections with our community and outside partners? And is the decision-making process building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community? Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a published agenda. Are there any proposed amendments? Councilmember Morrissey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I move to amend the agenda to add our presentation to be next.
Second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to move the presentations ahead of the executive session. Is all in favor of that? Please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, that is now added as item 2. Are there any other proposed amendments? Councilmember Rosapepe, go ahead.
Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Rosapepe, a second by Councilmember Terneri to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. The agenda is set for this evening. Chief, you're up.
Plenty of business, so I appreciate you guys again allowing us to come before you. We have recently had our award ceremony. We have a couple people that we're going to commission tonight. But I know I say this often, but I mean it. Like, I'm absolutely honored to serve with the men and women that are in here today. We built an amazing ecosystem, and I really enjoy being able to come in here with you guys and share our successes. So I want to recognize some officers first, and then we'll do the commissioning, and then we'll let you get back about your business meeting. So the first that I want to recognize is Deputy Chief Andy Brandon. And for those of you that may remember, in late 2025, he was selected to attend the 297th session of the FBI National Academy. This session included men and women from 48 states and the District of Columbia. And the class included 26 members of law enforcement agencies from 24 countries, 4 military organizations, and 4 federal civilian organizations. So internationally known for its academic excellence, the National Academy offers 10 weeks of advanced communication, leadership, and fitness training. Participants must have proven records as professionals within their agencies to attend, and on average, these officers have 21 years of law enforcement experience and usually return to their agencies to serve in executive level positions, which Deputy Chief Brandon does. FBI Academy instructors, special agents, and other staff with advanced degrees provide the training, and many instructors are recognized internationally in their fields. And since 1972, National Academy students have been able to earn undergraduate and graduate credits from the University of Virginia, as credits in all National Academy courses. So he is already halfway to a master's degree at the University of Virginia. A total of 56,941 graduates have completed the FBI National Academy since it began in 1935, and it's held at the FBI Training Academy in Quantico, the same facility that trains FBI agents. He will be giving a presentation hopefully at the end of the month so that you guys can see the pictures and see what he actually did. Congratulations, Deputy Chief.
Nice.
I'm not sure if she was able to make it tonight. I don't know if she's on vacation, but as a police department, I think it's important that we honor our long service employees. And it's my privilege this evening to acknowledge and celebrate Cindy Cercelli's 25 years with the police department. She began her career with us in 2000 as a part-time clerk, and over the years she's taken on new responsibilities, grown with every challenge, and expanded her role to what is now known as the Police Services Coordinator. Since my time, she has played a major role in modernizing and evolving the Administrative Services Division. We transitioned from a primarily paper-based system to a fully digital environment. And while we still struggle with our record management system, I can honestly say that without having her as one of the primaries involved in bringing that forward, we would be even worse off. She continued to expand her expertise in becoming a certified public records officer, and now serves on the state committee Memory Department and Community of Portage. Our next award is the Narcan Administration Award. So the Narcan Administration Award is bestowed upon those who successfully administer Narcan to individuals who are suffering from an opioid overdose, but do not need to provide other life-saving measures such as CPR. I can say that I'm very happy that we're getting fewer than half the awards that we did the year previous because we're starting to see a reduction in opioid overdoses in our community. So I'm just going to ask if they're not already standing, we can recognize the four from last year. So Sergeant Donna Main, this is her fourth award. Officer Austin Podnet for his first. Officer Noah Sanchez for his fifth. And Officer Joe Such for his second. Next is our life-saving medal, and this is awarded for active attempts to and/or results in the saving of the life of another. And this year, the award was provided 4 times, was earned 4 times. So on March 29th, Officer Joe Such responded to a female down inside of a residence with CPR already being administered. Upon arrival, he quickly assessed the scene and, after not finding a pulse, took over CPR. He provided chest compressions for several minutes before medics arrived, and although they were able to restore some breathing, the woman ultimately succumbed. But she was able to keep her alive long enough for medics to arrive and provide advanced life-saving. On June 25th, Officer Alexis Casillas Manzano arrived at a residence for another down session. Officer Casillas Manzano and Officer Joe Such swiftly determined the male was not breathing and did not have a pulse. Officer Casillas Manzano provided CPR until the medics were able to arrive. And again, although he ultimately expired, he was able to be kept alive until medics were able to provide life-saving measures. On July 25th, Officer Noah Sanchez was dispatched to a downed subject in the parking lot with a community member who was already providing CPR. He arrived and immediately administered a dose of Narcan and then took over for chest compressions. And as he worked, he was able to continue gathering information so that the medics were able to provide additional life-saving efforts, and he was saved when he reached the hospital. On November 16th, Sergeant Donna Main arrived at an auto pedestrian collision on Bethel and found a male subject on the ground, pulseless and not breathing. Amid a chaotic scene and in the middle of the roadway in the darkness, she immediately administered life-saving efforts to include CPR. He did regain a pulse, but also the tragic injuries he sustained, he did expire. So thank you. Next is the Police Chief's Commendation, and this is awarded to staff members who displayed highly professional conduct and performance. We didn't go with a single person this year for this award, and they are awarded every single year, but this year we did provide it to every member of our training cadre. We're the best trained in the county, and I would also argue we're amongst the best trained in the state. So they continue to step up our development, refinement, and improvement to our annual training. That includes more scenario-based training, so it's not sitting down and watching a death by PowerPoint, it's being out and doing it so that you can experience those stresses, and then when you're in the field, you're like, oh, this is easy. What Sergeant made me do last time was much harder. What I also am proud of this group is that the training programs that we provide our staff now have other agencies coming to us saying, you're doing it right, how do we do it, please show us. So I'd like to recognize Sergeant Josh Horsley, who is in charge of our Emergency Vehicle Operations course, Sergeant Donna Main, who runs our Tactical Medicine program. For Defensive Tactics, it's Officer Amy Allen and Officer Austin Colbert. For Firearms, it's Officer Josiah Gaps and Detective Nick Smith. And for our less lethal programs, such as Taser and 40 millimeters, it's Officer DJ Huberts. So thank you. Our next award was for Civic Achievement, and that's granted to staff who demonstrate exemplary performance in voluntary off-duty community service or civic affairs. And this year, that award went to Police Services Specialist Kathy Toma. As you know, we have one of the most active and largest Shop with the Cops in the entire country, definitely in our state, and it continues to grow with her being on the board and accepting additional responsibilities such as planning, setup, and coordination for both the fundraising events and the shopping events, of which there are now 2. Through a lot of her hard work, instead of only having the one in Poulsbo, which has traditionally fallen on the night of Holiday on the Bay, we now have a South Kitsap one focused for our kids down here that is at the school district to identify eligible participants and was responsible for planning and executing the table centerpieces for the large fundraiser they have every October. What I also give her credit for is that as we expand our own involvement in community outreach and community events, she's done a phenomenal job of recruiting the officers to also participate on their days off. I will speak out. This year's Shop a Cop event is in the South End is going to be serving 170 kids from the South Kitsap School District. The main fundraiser is a dinner and comedy show this October. Traditionally, South Kitsap has not been as involved in fundraising efforts, so I strongly encourage you guys to attend with us. It's a fantastic event. It's held at the fairgrounds. So thank you, guys. Now we have an Exceptional Duty Award. So this is given for excellence in police work, outstanding performance under complicated or hazardous conditions, but it can also be provided and earned for outstanding performance over an extended period in implementing exemplary problem solving. So Officer Amy Allen consistently works with her community through tenacious police work and genuine empathy for those that are unhoused and suffer from substance use disorder. As you know, that in the South End, it can often be difficult to connect people with services, but she goes above and beyond to make that happen. Officer Josiah Gaps is one of our main trainers, and he has designed our force-on-force training sessions. These are the scenario-based ones, developing increasingly realistic scenarios. The best part of what he does as well is he's actively engaged. So when people are struggling, his goal is to make sure that they're successful. So that when they walk away from that training, they're confident in their skill sets. And he's, as a field training officer, he's also dedicated to making sure that our new officers are confident and well-trained. Officer Austin Podman, as you know, we're struggling with some staffing shortages, and he has gone above and beyond to ensure that we have the coverage every single day, even when there's maybe a day off that he would like to have. He recognizes that we need to have people working. He's also one of our more proactive officers, the 4-year arrest, which is the 4th highest in our department. And his positive attitude and hard work just absolutely recognized and deserves recognition. Sergeant Trey Holden is our subject matter expert for the Kitsap County Derelict Vessel Task Force. For those of you that may be aware, this has brought in stakeholders from federal, state, and our region to kind of deal with the issue of we squeezed the balloon in Sinclair Inlet, it's going to Bremerton, now it's going to Tollsville, now it's going to Hood Canal. We want to resolve that on a regional level. So he is sort of, like I said, as our subject matter expert. And so last year, under his leadership, the Marine Services Unit was able to successfully remove 15 vessels from Sinclair Inlet. Because he focuses on education first, 13 of those left voluntarily. Some of those were destroyed voluntarily, and we only had to abate 2. He also runs our unmanned aerial system program, so our drones. Again, as you know, we believe strongly in regionalizing a lot of these programs. He has built a training program here that people from this county and other counties come to say, how are you doing this so well? We need to model our program off of it. So very proud of him for doing that. And then as we've continued to focus efforts on traffic safety, he was recognized by the Washington State Traffic Safety Commission for his dedication to traffic enforcement. And finally, Sergeant Don Main, who I seem to speak a lot about, has really exemplified our values of service, honor, and integrity, not only for upholding the highest standards of conduct with the officers that we all serve with, but as you know, last year we accepted a challenge at the city to try and raise food for the South Kitsap Helpline. They were moving to a new facility, and kind of amongst the departments, we decided, hey, we'll have a competition. I brought that downstairs. Donna happened to be there. She said, hold my root beer. And went out and made her contacts with Safeway and organized the Fill the Patrol Car food drive, and we raised 3 tons of food to go to the South Kitsap Helpline and stocked them based on her actions. So, thank you all. The last 2 awards that I have, first is the Professional Staff of the Year Award. Our administrative services teammates perform critical functions that keep our operations running smoothly. It's not just the officers in uniform that you see that make the department successful. Their duties include engaging community members who do business with our agency, processing every piece of paper that comes into our department, digital pieces of paper, including public records requests, processing property and evidence, assisting with criminal investigations. I could go on, but I know that you guys have a business meeting. So Caroline Everard exemplifies our values of service, honor, and integrity through exceptional dedication and professionalism. As you know, we started the trespassing program last year. This was new to our city. It's not new around the state, but there needed to be a lot of outreach, sometimes some hand-holding and encouraging people to help us make this program successful and work for our community. She took that over and really made it work for us and work for the community. Like I said, walking people through the process. So when we first started, we needed to go out, usually it was myself and one of the deputy chiefs, and inspect signage and make sure the property owners understood. She's been able to take that, bring that completely in-house, and get people compliant with that program. And finding solutions for them, because we need them to participate because this is a volunteer program. For those of you that follow our social media, and I hope that's all of you, she is taking the lead on that and has completely redone all of that work and has really increased our outreach. And for those of you that do read our annual reports or professional services reports or any of the other documents that I give to you, she's the one that designs all of those, and she's absolutely my proofreader because I need it beyond So I could, as I said before, the work that this team is doing is modeling for other agencies, and if invitation is the best form of flattery, she should feel very flattered because multiple agencies have reached out to me through my contacts and said, how do you do that and can you teach me? So thank you, Carolyn. Sure, Everett. Officer Sarah Duke is our Officer of the Year, and it's because she consistently demonstrates high-profile standards of professionalism, dedication, and integrity, and really having a positive impact not only on our department but also our community. And when I talk to her supervisors, the strongest quality that she has is teamwork. And as you know, there are a lot of things that we do where there's follow-ons. You do this, and now you've got 3 things to do. And if you do 3 of those things, there's now 9 things to do. And oftentimes, officers can get focused on just what they've got in front of them. And she really, really wants the team to be successful. So she is the first that will step up and say, hey, let me take that off your plate real quick so you don't have to carry all that load. The team can carry it together and get it done better and more efficiently, and we can get back out and do more. She's also highly proactive, which is great because when you address concerns before they become problems, then you don't have as many things to sit on your plate, and you can get things done at the lowest level before you have to start making arrests. That being said, she is the absolute workhorse of our department with 434 criminal cases last year with 67 arrests. As a field training officer, just like I spoke about Officer Gaps, she really focuses on making sure that people are successful in our program. We invest a lot to bring people here, and we made the commitment that we were only going to bring the right people here. And because of that, we have to put in that extra work. When they struggle, you still need to help them move on and make them successful. Ultimately, if they're not, we need to make sure that we've done everything that we can to allow them to get there. And we are successful because of what she puts into that program. So, again, Officer Duke, there she is. So now it's my distinct honor to hold this commissioning ceremony and introduce you to our 2 newest officers. So if you guys want to come on, please. So, born in Puerto Vallarta, Officer Luis Clement immigrated to the United States as a child and was raised in Bremerton. Officer Clement graduated from Bremerton High School in 2019 and continued his education at the South Sound Community College on a soccer scholarship. His free time, he enjoys traveling with his wife Dana and their 1-year-old daughter Inara. He remains an avid soccer fan, so I'm sure you're going to enjoy FIFA. But his favorite team in the Sound is obviously Team USA, and that helps him stay connected to the sport. Officer Gino Rolandini is originally from Gig Harbor. While attending the University of Washington, he studied literature and film, which ultimately led to work in the New York media industry. Pacific Northwest followed him home in 2024, and he transitioned to law enforcement, where he spent 2.5 years with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office in both patrol and corrections. He enjoys spending time with his wife and daughter, scary movies, for some reason, cringy dating shows. Also catching back as we see them. So before I administer them, they're both, I do this every time, but I think it's really important, is to read the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. many of you guys heard, I have my original oath that still hangs in my closet so that when I get ready for work, I read this every single day, and I think it's important for us to keep. So as a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner which does not bring discredit to me or my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary to the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decision. With no compromise for crime, and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of the police service. I will never engage in acts of bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other police officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. And I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance, and will take every opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives, and I do, dedicating myself to my chosen profession, law enforcement. So I promise I'll go soon. So if you both will raise your right hand and state after me. I state your name.
Louis Clement.
Having been duly appointed as a police officer for the city of Port Orchard,
Having been duly appointed as a police officer for the city of Port Orchard,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my appointment
perform the duties of my appointment
as prescribed by law
as prescribed by law
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and that I will support and enforce
and I will support and enforce
the ordinances of the city of Port Orchard,
the ordinances of the city of Port Orchard,
the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington,
the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington,
and the Constitution of the United States of America.
the Constitution of the United States of America.
Congratulations.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations, welcome aboard. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for getting it.
Oh, we're doing a pic?
Now,
Pic, pic, pic.
we doing photo, chief?
Apparently we are.
Yeah, yeah, I got to stand by you.
All right, our next order of business is an executive session, and so we will recess to an executive session. We'll start with 10 minutes. We may need to extend, but we will now go into a 10-minute executive session.
Pursuant to RCW 423110 subpart 1 subpart I, with action to follow. Potential action.
In the back. We're live?
Let's say, I'll let you know when we're there, because I
Haven't
got
heard
friends
the-
there for sure.
We're good. Okay, I got a thumbs up, so we're live. We're back in session, and we've already approved the agenda, so now we're just our first citizen comment period. If anybody wishes to address the council, please step to the microphone, and if you're online, you can use the raise your hand feature, and the clerk will bring you into the meeting. And all kinds of people rushing the podium.
Online?
No one online, so we're going to close the first citizen comment period. We have a published consent agenda. Is Councilmember Morrissey?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Morrissey, a second by Councilmember Fenton to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The consent agenda has been approved. We already held our presentation. We don't have a public meeting, so now we're going to jump into our business items. The first of which is adoption of an ordinance adopting a Bay Street food court policy as components of the city's downtown revitalization program. Ms. Archer, this is you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Before you this evening is an ordinance establishing the Bay Street Food Court policy related to the vacant lot that just a few meetings ago you authorized a lease agreement with that is currently owned by Heritage Bank, and can be utilized for the purposes that the city has envisioned, which include a food court of mobile vendors to be located during the summer season to start. In order to provide an alternative food option or restaurant option for visitors to the downtown area. This policy is in the form of an ordinance because the city currently has codified regulations associated with parking, mobile food vending, those sorts of things. And so by this ordinance, an ordinance is necessary to modify the code. We can't modify code by resolution. We would be suspending the existing regulations as it relates to this particular area and for public agencies for the sole purposes established in this ordinance. And that would be a unique, specific waiver of those requirements and the substitution of the requirements that are set out in this policy. So for example, your existing policy has a set permitting pricing for certain vendor permits. This would establish an alternative schema for that permitting based on the length of time that a particular mobile vendor would have a license to occupy that space. Similarly, this would waive or it wouldn't waive, rather it would have it be a finding by the council that this is not a parking activity, which is otherwise prohibited in that zone, but in fact a restaurant or a mobile commercial vending area. So although it's trucks parked, it's not parking per se, according to the Department of Community Development Department. So this program is attached to the ordinance. It includes the license as well, and would be establishing the program again for a temporary on a temporary basis, and we would revisit this. The license itself is of a temporary nature as well. And I'm not seeing the policy actually in the packet. Did folks see the policy attached?
The application's in there.
The application
it's after
is
the
there.
whereas
Okay,
statements.
okay. All right, so with that, I'm happy to stand for any questions associated with this item.
Councilmember Fenton?
I move the adoption of an ordinance adopting the Bay Street Food Court license policy.
Second?
Motion by Councilmember Fenton, a second by Councilmember Rosa Pepe. And any questions? The major, go ahead, Councilmember Debbie.
So I have, I guess, okay, so here's my first question, and then I'll worry about my other one. Daily license fee is $25 per day. How was that license fee determined?
I worked with Sam Smith down at the Merchants Association. Our current fee is $15, is that what it is, a day? But we only have a daily rate. And we're really encouraging, we don't want to manage this any more than we have to. And I really want 5 vendors to purchase seasonal licenses, and we touch this once or 5 times versus a bunch of different vendors. And then we've got some criteria in here if they must commit to working at least 12 days.
And to supplement the mayor's report, the staff time associated with this operation of this program is commensurate with those fees. So we'll have public works staff that will be outfitting this space. We'll have clerk's office processing the application. DCD will also be processing the application, as will public works. So we always want to set our administrative costs, our administrative fees to cover our administrative costs.
My concern right now is that, believe it or not, it's actually because it's low. Especially given, for instance, how much a booth costs at the market to vend. This seems really low to me, $25 a day. Knowing that like at a market, a food vendor has to pay, I guess, $55, I think it is. Is it 45? Oh, gosh.
Ballpark.
It's 55. And that, especially if we're gonna have food trucks, I don't know what time of day, like date it would be. We have a long-standing market that really adds so much benefit to our community. And having food trucks potentially cannibalizes our existing food truck vendors at the market, depending on what time of day these food trucks are allowed to be there.
What I can share is this is something that our merchants have been asking for, and the Merchants Association has been asking for months. We're trying to satisfy that request. It is not our intent to make any money at it. It's to cover our costs and not have it to be an administrative burden. So that's how we came to the cost that we did. Councilmember Fenton?
I think for the most part, when it comes to the farmer's market, these is like on the night market, so the farmer's market won't be affected by that. Yeah, and then maybe a little overlap, but for the most part, I don't think the food vendors that we want downtown will really affect the farmer's market.
It is envisioned by the merchants to complement hopefully the FIFA activity that's coming, and we're going to be challenged to get this opened up by the first game, but I think Public Works is committed to it. I've got some good movement on the lease. One of the provisions they wanted in the lease was to know our fee structure. I don't know why, but that was one of the requirements the bank wanted, so I can't return that lease back to them until you guys adopt whatever that fee structure is. Okay, go ahead, John.
Yeah, so I just first want to make sure there's precedent for this. We're not using any kind of funkiness in our code to make this happen. Other communities have done something where they carve this one parcel out.
Well, it's not. We're not carving a single parcel out. We are doing it on a area-wide basis.
Oh, we are.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But it's the parameters are for just public agencies in this specific geographic area. It's the cross streets are in the resolution as well. But it's essentially that square. You are correct to have concern about spot waiving for a particular parcel, and that's why we've built it a bit larger.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure that we're operating with those parameters. And then just two more comments. I think I'm kind of in line with Councilmember Fenton. I had a conversation with Sam Smith, among others, with POWA, who actually see the benefit bringing in food vendors does to our local restaurants, because it brings other people down to the area. Then they see a line, don't want to wait in it, and go to a local restaurant and spend dollars there too. So she at least tells us that happens. And then I would like to applaud the city for looking at this. $25 a day isn't cost prohibitive, I don't think, if you are looking for just a drop-in type situation. But I'm super happy to hear that we also did a monthly fee as well, so that if you were going to make that commitment and set up shop, that people could really get to know you as a vendor down there, maybe try all the food or whatever you're vending, and hopefully maybe they'll want to open up a spot right here in town. So good job.
That's fair.
I heard the number 12. Is that up to 12?
There's 5. Excuse me. They're
required to have 5, or they?
That's what we can accommodate in there and meet the space requirements for a building code. So
thought I heard you
we
say
went
that.
down and then measured, and
It's about 12 times.
That's for a
That's for a monthly.
if they're gonna get a monthly license.
Yes.
Or a seasonal license, where they have to check a box to say they're committing to being, they're not gonna take up one of our 5 spots and only show up once or twice. They're committing to a dozen, being there, and if they don't meet that dozen, then we're gonna revoke their license and offer that. If we have demand for it, offer it to somebody else.
Are we still doing the lot across the street?
That's,
That's where it's at.
That is where it's at.
so this is the gravel lot.
Okay.
This is the gravel lot with the fence around it. We're gonna get the fence down. And then we're also working, and we're farther along on that lease. It went back today on the parking lot, the paved parking lot.
you.
Yep.
Following you.
So got them both going. Councilmember?
How many food vendors will go in that,
We can host up to 5 food trucks.
in the gravel
In the
area?
gravel area. That's what, yep. We had the building department and then Public Works go down there with a spray can and measure it off, and that's,
Right.
so we're gonna put some gravel down, take the fence down, and use some Jersey barriers, is, I think, more attractive than that chain link fence that's there.
But I do have, I'm sorry, I get the point that Councilmember Deadman was saying about how it's more expensive at the farmer's market than what we're having.
Yeah, I read through this, but maybe I missed it. This doesn't obligate them to pick any particular day. They could be down during the Saturday's market as well, right?
It could be.
And that's fine. I mean, I'm all for capitalism. So I just wanted to be clear on that, though.
Having activity all over the waterfront is good, too.
Yeah.
Councilmember? Okay.
Yeah, it just, you talking about the Jersey barriers just popped a thought in my head. Are we putting any type, I know we just invested in some additional sitting structures between picnic tables and the benches. Is there anything going in that lot with them, kind of like
I
what they
think
do
we're
up
gonna
on
have
Sedgwick?
We're gonna have a requirement from the health department to have at least a washing station, and we're going to probably put a Santa can down there. Hopefully it doesn't get vandalized, but that's, and I think we're gonna put a couple of inexpensive picnic tables in there. I don't know, and if we need more, we're not gonna buy expensive stuff. It's just maybe someplace to sit while you're waiting for your order to be prepared type thing. Why would you sit there in that gravel lot when you can go sit on the waterfront or in that park space? But you're welcome to sit there in the gravel lot if you want to and watch the traffic. But the plan is a couple of picnic tables.
With an eye towards repurposing them to a park.
Yeah,
perhaps.
yeah. Yes, Councilmember Rose Pepe, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm definitely going to approve this. We've talked about food trucks in the past, and it's nice to see this come to fruition. And the first game is June 11th, so the sooner we get going, the better. So I'm all in favor of getting this approved and let the mayor do his thing.
One last question.
Yes,
It says food trucks.
yes.
So it needs to be a food truck, not a food vendor?
It is a food truck, yes.
So it has to be a-
Self-contained, yes. That is what is envisioned. And I'm told from the merchants, there's 2 vendors waiting for this to happen. So we'll see if that, we've got, I've been talking daily, or communicating daily with the bank back and forth on the lease. So we're really, really close. I'm hoping that it's gonna happen in the day or 2. So, yes.
What kind of food?
I don't know that, okay? So I think anything is good, so. All right, and seeing no further questions, you'd be voting on adoption of an ordinance approving a Space Street food court policy as a component of the city's downtown revitalization program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the ordinance is approved. We're at item B, adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with All Around Fence LLC for on-call fencing. Mr. Ryan, this is you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you is a resolution that would authorize the city to approve a contract for an on-call fencing contractor. On May 15th, 2026, the city issued an invitation to bid for the fencing on-call contract. Using the MRSC SmallWorks roster in accordance with the RCW 39.04.155, the city sought qualified contractors to provide as-needed installations, repairs, maintenance, and removal of fencing and gates at city-owned sites throughout the Port Orchard. Bids were due May 29th, and 4 bids were received. After evaluation, All Around Fence Company LLC was identified as the lowest responsible and qualified bidder. The proposed agreement is a 3-year contract, on-call contract with a not-to-exceed amount of $75,000 for the 3-year period. Work will be assigned through individual task orders, allowing specific scopes, location, and costs to be authorized as needs arise. Funding for each task will come from the existing Public Works budget based on the type of location of the repair of the work. This is just another tool for Public Works so we can expedite repairs. Fences get hit by cars, trees come down. This will expedite the process to repair these fences.
That fence in front of the Marley gets hit all the time, and it takes forever to procure a fence repair, and this will allow us to expedite that. So, Councilmember Rosepepe, go ahead.
Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with All Around Fence Company LLC in the amount of $75,000.
Second.
By Councilmember Rosepepe and a second by Councilmember Morrissey. Any questions for Mr. Ryan? Go ahead.
I'll start to see click fixing, yeah.
That's,
Givens, all the different areas, so. We'll start chipping away at this 75,000.
we'll be able to expedite these repairs much quicker.
Councilmember, go ahead.
Hi, I
Councilmember
was just curious how the engineer's estimate was determined.
I think this is
It's
based
a pot
off,
of dollars. As when something gets hit, we can just tell them, go fix it.
Yeah, right, so let me rephrase my question. Is $75,000 going to cover everything? Is it, I mean, is it?
When we run out, we'll come back.
Is it up to 75?
Yes.
it's up to 75, and we
Up to
looked at our
75.
historical, what we've been hiring out. But people are gonna know, make more C-click fixes, and it could go up.
So if we run out of the 75, we'll need to come back, because that's the limit that we have.
Over 3 years.
Right,
And we do feel that's adequate from historical.
okay, thank you.
Councilmember Trenary?
Yeah, Director Ryan, I see that you had 4 bids. Only 4 bids came in at the deadline. Just
Correct.
by chance, did we have any local bids?
I don't know the answer to that. We are restricted to use the MRC SmallWorks roster.
Understand.
So-
Understand.
And so it did go out to every vendor on the roster.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually was trying to think, like, why do we need this? How much chain link fence we have? We actually have a lot. All the lift stations, all the wells, there's a lot of chain link fence. The water, there's stormwater. There's a lot of chain link fence out there that could need.
And the Marley gets hit 3 times a year.
Drives John
right there.
crazy.
It does. I talk to the mayor about it all the time.
I-
I said,
and I talk
when
to
are we going to
Public
get that fence fixed? Because I said it, I could have swore I saw that was fixed, and then it was gone again.
Yeah. It doesn't last long. So,
Sad.
Councilmember Rosepepe?
Well, I know that, maybe that brings up the question about putting up bollards or some type of reflective device. I've saw that a lot with the school district with their gates, where they didn't have reflective on them, and, people would turn into them or, and stuff. So I'll just throw that out there.
We do have issues with our clear zone and what our liability is. So if somebody hits a bollard that's in our road clear zone, they're gonna go after the city. Unless you did a Jersey curb that has the engineered deflector on
We
it.
tried to go that way, and the state, because of
Yeah.
bicyclists.
No, I understand.
And
Yeah,
and the
I-
slope that's behind it, if a bicycle ran off.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So that's, and what we did do different this time, though, is it's 2 pieces of fence instead of 1.
Right,
Okay.
So when it gets hit,
Makes sense.
all we got to do is pull the zipper out of the middle of it and replace
crumple zone.
the part that gets, anyway,
And we
it's
did-
maddening.
Sorry. We do pursue, when we have accident reports, we work closely with the clerk's office and we do pursue recovery for damages. So that's another variable too. So
Do we put that back into this budget so that you can refill it and keep, what do we do with those dollars?
This isn't a revolving fund. It just goes back into our general
Okay.
fund. And this is coming out of our general fund, which is the street fund. Councilmember Diener?
so does this also include replacement of the cable barriers along the pathway? I've seen people pillage cables before. and-
that would fall under this would be
Okay.
considered.
It could be. Our Public Works Department sometimes repairs those. All right. We talked this to death?
We did. We did.
All right. You'll
Good
be
comments
voting
there.
on adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with All Around Fence LLC for on-call fencing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, the contract is approved. We are to item C, adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with BHC Consultants LLC to complete the 390-260 pressure zone PRV, which is a pressure reducing valve, design project. Mr. Ryan, this is you.
Thank you. The city originally hired BHC Consultants LLC in 2018 through a qualifications-based process to design the Well 13 project, including which several PRV stations in the 390 and the 260 pressure zones. Before the project was paused for the Foster pilot project, BHC completed about 80 to 90% of the PRV design work. The city now intends to resume and complete one of these, the Kendall Street PRV design, to support the supplemental flow from the 390 zone to the 260 zone. This has to do with our issues with Well 7 that we've previously brought to council. This is one of our emergency contingencies so we can approach the dry season. BHC has submitted an updated scope and fee proposal covering project management, final design, bid support, utility locating, and supplemental survey work. The proposed not-to-exceed cost of $45,925 on a time and materials basis. Because BHC developed the original design and is already familiar with the system, this work is continuation of the previous contract. The proposed action would authorize a new consultant services agreement with the BHC to finalize the 390 to 260 PRV design. So again, this is just so we will have the ability to remove water from our 390 zone to our 260 zone to help with our issues that we're having this summer with Well 7.
Layman's terms, we have a reservoir up at Van Z. We can't use that water downtown because it's at too high of a pressure because of the elevation. And this valve will reduce that pressure so that we can bring that water down the hill without blowing all the fixtures off of the wall down at the library.
And Well 7 is the one here at the bottom of the hill.
Bottom of the boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would appreciate the location of those as well, just so, because I never remember that. So.
Councilmember Warden?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with BHC Consultants LLC to complete the 390-260 pressure zone PRV design project in the amount not to exceed $49,925 in a form approved by the city attorney.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Warden and a second by Councilmember Fenton to finish answering Councilmember Morrissey's yes. Well 7 is the artesian well that we're having challenges with, and it feeds the downtown zone, but and it's independent from others. So it enables us to bring water down the hill. So Councilmember Rosebeppy?
Thank you. We discussed this at Utilities Committee tonight and got clarity on this. You know, basically everything flows downhill, so this allows us to keep the reservoir full. Additionally, for Dennis is creating maps, updating maps of our wells and other systems that will be given to every council member here shortly. So that will help with that.
Thank you.
Okay?
Where are you going to find that piece of paper when you need it? But you'll have
That's why I'm asking for a name of where it's also located.
it. Yep.
It shows it on
I
the map.
appreciate that. All right, any further questions? You'll be voting on a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with BHC Consultants LLC to complete the 390-260 pressure zone PRV design project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously, and the resolution is approved. We're to item D, adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign execute a supplemental agreement for the SR 166 reconstruction project, construction phase services with KPFF Inc. Mr. Ryan, this is you.
In 2023, the city contracted with KPFF to complete the design and permitting work for the SR 166 Bay Street reconstruction project. The agreement covered design only, and construction phase services were intentionally reserved for a later supplemental agreement. As the project approaches the WashDOT ad-ready status in 2026 and federally funded construction in 2027, the city must add construction management, inspection, federal documentation, design support during construction, easement and survey work, and public outreach to remain eligible for federal funding. This also includes archaeological monitoring throughout the project. The proposed supplemental agreement totals $1.58 million, bringing the overall contract at $2.89 million. The construction phase agreement is required for the city to advertise, award, and administer the SR 166 project under the FHWA and WashDOT requirements. The cost increase you see in the supplemental agreement is typical for federally funded transportation projects. The original KPFF contract covered design only and construction phase services, such as construction management, daily inspection, federal documentation, and design support during construction, are always added later through a supplemental agreement. For FHWA funded projects, these services generally fall in the range of 10 to 15% of the construction cost. The proposed amount is about 12.5%, which aligns with WashDOT's guidance. The supplemental agreement is required for us to advertise, award, and administer the SR 166 project.
Councilmember Trenary?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a supplemental agreement for construction phase services for the SR 166 reconstruction project in the amount of $1,579,608.60 in the form approved by the city attorney.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Trenary and a second by Councilmember Diener. Typical, if this was a local project, we would do this much closer to the award, but because it's a federalized process, WashDOT is our agent to those federal that many, and they need to approve of our consultant, approve of the elements like the outreach plan and things. So we need to do this much sooner. The lion's share of this money will be part of next year's budget and the construction project. There'll be very little of this money spent in 2026, and NOAA believes we have capacity in our current budget for the elements that will be done in 2026. So, Councilmember Warden.
Up until 2 months ago, before we were awarded the federal dollars, we were scheduled to start the project
This year.
Right
We'd be under construction
this
right now.
month.
Yeah.
Did we have any of this lined up, ready to go?
Well, you would,
Of a project manager? And
we would have before we went to bid, but yes, now we've got those federal dollars, and the rules are just a little bit different, so.
oh no, they're definitely different. But I was just wondering,
We
if
would
would've
have done
started
this.
2 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2 months within.
Yeah. So, yeah, we would have done it just before we went to construction. Councilmember Morrissey?
Yeah, I just would like to ask if maybe we could add just a quick blurb on our funding for both income and anticipated expenses for this particular project, maybe at the Finance Committee next week. If
It's already on the agenda.
perfect, thank you.
I already reviewed the presentation because it's also part of our presentation to the Public Facilities District to show them all the other dollars that we're spending on related projects, not just the community center. So it's already in the works. Thank you for asking.
There's lots of moving pieces around it. I just want clarity for myself.
It's nearly a $14 million project now. But yeah, I just saw that today.
Oh.
Councilmember Fenton?
Well, that would be good to get the breakdown. So does the federal, we're getting fund half the $2 million?
It's $3.5 million. I think it's $3.5 million we got in federal money.
Oh, okay.
That was why we delayed it, because we got that award, but it took a while to get those agreements in place, and we missed basically getting out to, we just couldn't have done it this construction season. If we wanted the $3.5 million, which we did.
We do.
Yeah, we definitely do. All right, any other questions? All right, you'll be voting on adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with BHC Consult. No, I'm on the wrong one. You'll be voting on a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a supplemental agreement for the SR 66 reconstruction project phase services with KPFF. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, the resolution passes. We're to item E, approval of the minutes of the May 26th council regular meeting. Councilmember Rosapepe.
Mayor, move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Councilmember Rosapepe made the motion. Councilmember Diener made the second, and I believe I'll have an abstention out of Councilmember Warden. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And one abstention. Pass 6-0. Committee reports, Economic Development and Tourism. I think you met yesterday. Who's
I was
Monday.
absent, so
was
I
Monday-
need
it was
somebody to
Monday.
fill in
Yeah,
for
that
me
was
with the
yesterday.
report.
From my
I
memory?
will, give me one moment. Actually, move on to somebody else I could.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Utilities, you met tonight?
Right, we met tonight, we covered one item, two items, additional discussion items were Old Clifton Intertire going from 60% to 100% design, again with construction in 2027. Foster pilot update, we continue to meet with the tribes and also meeting with West Sound Utilities District. It continues to be a moving target. And the other thing we had was a presentation on water quality reports. It's going to be soon to be out on our updated website. It's a very good report format. Since we test our water daily across the board, it's kind of a culmination of what activities have gone on for the year. So again, very nice job, and please thank, I can't remember, I'm sorry. Yeah, please thank her for us. We also had a presentation on starting 2026 conservation measures and how we can communicate with folks, either through utility bills, online, and I believe that she will be at the July farmers market. But we are in our 4th year of a statewide drought, and don't see that ending anytime soon. We have a, just to flip a little bit, we do have a sewer advisory committee next Tuesday meeting for everybody, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, so if you want to read your, if you want to know how to read the water report, the presentation goes through it. It's amazing. It was so well done.
Going to be sent to everybody on the council.
Are you ready for your economic development?
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
So yesterday we met, the EDT meeting met, and we talked about the downtown grant program. Do you remember what we talked about exactly? Just kind of like an update on it. Yeah, it was an update on it. And we talked about pre-application meetings such as a new McDonald's and a oil change business and an expansion of childcare business. And then we talked about parking and specifically trying to understand the boundaries of, or what it meant for the lease that we are getting into with the, or we want to get into with the bank. So there's more visuals for if people need visuals. We included visuals. So if you want to understand that, go back to there. And then we talked about a shuttle study, or the shuttle trolley feasibility. And what we talked about specifically was how Kitsap Transit goes from the water all the way up to Givens Center, where there's more parking, and there's an ADA compliant bus stop. And so working with Kitsap Transit to get, I'll say like more specialized or just additional marketing and education so that people are aware of that, those bus systems, so which I thought was really rad.
Yeah. And I'll just mention that Connor Dahlquist, he's an employee here, and he's going to put together all the bus stations. And so what we really want to work on, is, especially for the farmers market, even at EPO, there's a place you can park and go downtown. So we're gonna, he's gonna put this together, and it will just be, we want to put it out there more, have public aware that you don't have to drive downtown. And then you also want to be on one of the buses that is a short, so you're not on it for a long time. So that's what
Waiting
we're
for a long time
putting together.
necessarily?
Yeah.
And so Connor, he's with community development, right? So I wanted to give a shout out to community development for coming up with that. So that was awesome.
And then one more thing, we're going to put on the, for our study, our work study, it was a discussion of the bathrooms. So I know you'll like this, Councilmember Diener. So we're going to talk about the bathroom issue downtown
That work study.
at work study.
Especially with these shuttle, oh wait,
you.
especially with the food trucks going into that area. Good point. Okay.
So Finance Committee meets next week. Transportation meets on the 23rd. And Land Use, have they met?
No, we gave a report. We meet July 8th.
I see that. Brandy and I were talking about lodging tax today, and can I connect with you shortly right after the meeting about that? And Sewer Advisory Committee, I see, is meeting out the Red Lumsden Building on June 16th.
Next week.
And I'll give my outside agencies in my mayor's report, and Jace got something for the ad hoc committee.
Yes. Just for council, we have our first draft completed with comments back. We are meeting this Sunday to go over the first draft. The goal is to send it back to Charlie for one last review, send it to council, and I would request that we put this on July work study.
Okay. All right. We've got mayor's report. So I think it was last week was the Puget Sound Regional Council's General Assembly, where the regional transportation plan was approved. I would say the highlight of the meeting was a fireside chat with business leaders, including Nordstrom CEO Eric Nordstrom, Microsoft President Brad Smith, and Carrie Schroeder from JP Morgan. And they discussed the differences. All of these companies do business in Washington and in many other states across their nation. And they talked about the differences of doing business in our state versus other states. And one of the sound bites that really jumped out, we currently rank 46th in the nation out of 50 states in tax burden. And Eric Nordstrom's really beat the drum on that a bit, and he goes, where is the added value? He was asking, and he was pointing in particular his Seattle store where his staff apprehends a shoplifter, and half the time the police might show up, and when they do show up, they aren't prosecuted. And he named numerous cities like Chicago and New York and other major cities where the police show up 100% of the time, and people are always prosecuted. And he pointed to a store they had in San Francisco where their losses got so large that the store became unprofitable, and they were forced to close it. And he doesn't want to see that happen to their flagship store, was where they were founded, in the city of Seattle. So, it was an hour and a half long fireside chat. It was great. Last week, I also did a city tour with Senator Murray's staff. They are interested in funding, giving us a $4 million award for our Intertie project. And if we're successful in getting that, we have a $6 million construction project. We got $1 million from the state last year, and $4 million. Our ratepayers would only be paying for $1 million of a $6 million project, and that would be phenomenal. So keep your fingers crossed. That looks promising. She was just blown away with what we're doing, how we're doing it. I drove her down Tremont, just the quality of the projects that we're delivering on. She was just really, really impressed. From my Kitsap Transit Board meeting, so everybody know the dock, the floats down at the waterfront, the transit docks are aging, and they've gone out to bid for designing new floats down there. That'll be permitting floats in the Puget Sound is a lengthy process. It'll probably be years before those floats are actually built and installed, but they've started that process. And Shira spoke to this a bit, and I reached out after the discussions at the farmers market about shuttles and things. I reached out to Kitsap Transit, and John Clausen is committed in the coming weeks, they're a little busy with FIFA right now, but to do a booth at the farmer's market for that outreach about Kitsap Transit so that people have information on where we have buses leaving every 30 minutes that go up, there by EPO. There's that park and ride lot on Mitchell at the church, the armory, up on top of the hill at the county campus, and the buses are coming and going every 30 minutes. So continue to educate people on where they can catch them and when they come. Saturday night was a fabulous event that some others were at also. It was Chief Brown's roast. And we got to share some great stories about Chief Brown that I won't put on the record here. But it was a good time, and I understand they raised more than $5,000 for the Blue Bridge Alliance. And so it was a great event. And I mentioned this earlier, we are very, very close. I think in the next day or two, we should have those leases done, and hopefully to a form that Charlie will allow me to sign those. So really the only things I'm missing right now was the costs that you guys just approved. And then in section 3, we need to know where to send the money to. They left it blank. And I don't know where they want the money sent. So they should be able to turn that around pretty quickly, I would hope.
I can give you an account number if you'd like.
Send it to the county, they need the money, that's true. All right. Oh, yeah, Councilmember Trenary I know I want to talk about that. I think we've all seen the barricades down on the waterfront in the Port of Bremerton's parking lot there. Press release went out last week about that. Unfortunately, they had an engineer come and look at it. The structure underneath it is in very bad condition. They're evaluating their options, whether that's rebuilding in kind or moving it back onto the shoreline, which would be much easier to permit and happen much quicker, but they would lose some parking. So in the meantime, it's not safe to have, in particular, large groups of people like we would have at 4th of July and out on that boardwalk. So, Councilmember Diener?
So this is something I was going to bring up at good of the order, but so they've shut off that pathway, the wooden boardwalk, but where they've ended it is a curb, and so
we've made them aware of that. Yes.
Okay, because I actually was on Saturday having to help somebody go across that curb with a walker, and
it's not the end product, I'm being told.
Just temporary little ramps from the curb down to the.
They say they're going to do that. They just once they made the announcement, they had to get the safety issue taken care of.
Yeah, and then the way the barricades were set up, people were walking across the bark mulch islands there instead of some people having to go around those. So. Just being mindful.
We've made them aware of that too.
Thank you very much.
Yep. But it is their parking lot, and all we can do is encourage them to make changes. Yeah.
Okay.
But we have communicated that. All right. Mr. Ryan, got anything to share?
Thank you. So I wanted to provide an update on our Well 7. We did talk about this tonight at Utilities Committee. Previously, we've talked to council about we amended the biennium budget to increase our budget by $350,000. We were trying to figure out what our fix was in the interim to get Well 7 producing, that's down there at Port Orchard Boulevard and Bay Street, producing what we need throughout the summer. So after working with our hydrologist, our engineering team, and also Consular Engineering, we have come to the determination that the well needs to be rehabbed. We've TV'd it, we've monitored it. Rehabbing is our best option. We'll continue to seek the amount that it's producing currently at 50 gallons a minute. We will rehab it in the fall after we get out of this peak heat season, because that runs with risks that we don't want the well to go down totally. We're also adjusting our run times on our pumps, so we're not burdening the well, the aquifer, as quickly. So we're staggering our run times. The PRV tonight that you approved for nearly $50,000 is going to come out of that budget. That's another of our options, our contingencies to move the water. Our transmission line from Bremerton has been completed under SR 16. That is back online. Bremerton has agreed to provide us water if we have the urgent need this summer. And then we are going to closely keep monitoring, and I'll keep you up to speed. So that's for well 7. Just an update, I did send out some information on the Bethel water line work that's being done by West Sound Utilities. It's going to be starting here. We are restricting their work in the intersection of Bethel 1, Walmart, to nighttime hours to try to keep that burden down, but our inspection team is going to be following them. We'll work with West Sound on public notification and just keep the communication coming. Also, the last thing I have is SR3. We are getting a lot of calls. It's a state detour project, but we're working with the clerk's office and getting the messaging and the WashDOT's updates out to the public on our social media as well. So, thank you.
Ryan?
Director Ryan, you had some words in there I just want to get some clarification on when we're talking about well 7 there. I believe you used at one point the word critical. Are we at critical levels of water, or are we just running into urgent needs? Talk to us about that wording.
So the line that goes over the freeway has been repaired. We can get water from Bremerton now if we need to, and we're likely going to, Bremerton is amenable to this too. Remember, we have that water agreement in McCormick where we're trading water for that asset. That's only currently available for the water in McCormick. We're going to amend that agreement so that we don't have, if we need this water from Bremerton, we don't have to pay cash for it. It goes against that agreement that we have in place already. So
That's all good and fine,
Didn't answer your question.
but it doesn't answer my question in the slightest.
we can get water. It's just not our own.
Again, doesn't answer my question in the slightest.
We want more water coming from that artesian. That's why we've done the contingency with that intertie, that it's back and running. But our other options, because it's not where we want to see it, it's very concerning. So we've changed our run times to offset it. And then this PRV is also going to allow us to move water to supply the zone that we needed to provide.
Thank you for that. Can you answer? Okay.
One other, it is still an issue, but it's an issue we're going to address this fall. To see whether we need to, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of, for lack of better words, kind of clean out the system for allow pumping, or whether we have to put a pump in to draw the water out. So right now, the word critical would not be.
Okay, that answers my question.
On our own.
We have an urgent need, not a critical need.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the question.
Yes.
Likely this summer will not, unless till the PRV is done, be able to produce enough of our own water, and we'll need to get water from Bremerton. And we're working at a methodology that we don't have to pay cash for that water.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, going back to the Utilities Committee, there's an excellent presentation about conservation. Just wanted to remind people that we do ask that folks maybe consider not, how do you say this, watering their plants all the time. So it's not mandatory, but it is a request.
Yeah, but you'll save yours for me. I appreciate it.
Go look at my front yard. It is like very xeriscaping, okay?
You don't want to water your plants at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on that.
Ms. Lund, what do you got for us?
Thank you. Just a quick update. We're required to let you know when we update job descriptions per ordinance 008-20. And we have 3 of those updates since my last report. Just routine housekeeping stuff. Our HR analyst, Beth Smith, is on top of this. We've updated the electrician, the city engineer, and code enforcement officer job descriptions. Again, just updating routine stuff. Sorry about that. And speaking of Beth, I want to publicly congratulate and announce that she has successfully obtained her national certification from the Society of Human Resources Management as a certified human resources professional. That is not an easy task. It's many, many hours of study and hard work. When I went through that years ago, the pass rate was only about 60%. I don't know what it is today. I didn't look it up. But she passed it on her first go a couple months ago and just recently received that. So that's a huge accomplishment for her and for the city.
Charlie?
Thank you so much. Just a heads up, I know I mentioned this in the fall, but the Attorney General's office has been going through the rulemaking process to update the public records model rules. And you all know the public records is a law. And then we have in the WACs the model rules that we all should abide by, which are supposedly consistent with the law. And when we talked about this in the fall, the model rules update, which was largely motivated by members of the media, the news community, who were largely cited by larger agencies in certain requests. We're asking for modifications to the rules that were of deep concern to many agencies, and many of my agencies submitted public comments. The draft remains concerning in a few key ways, and it is moving forward in that process. The next public hearing, or I think it's actually the final public hearing prior to adoption, is June 30th at 3 p.m., and there is a way to attend remotely and offer public comment, and I'll work with the clerk's office. We can also submit written comment as well. Just for your things that would be concerning to you in this, one of them is the expectation that if public records are created or received on a personal device, currently, we ask that you retain those in accordance with our expectation, or excuse me, our retention schedule, and then produce them if and when we get a public records request. The model rules would flip that, and if you create or receive one, you have to immediately upload it, and it has to be stored on a city device. And this was motivated by the news media, who felt that certain elected officials in larger agencies were withholding records that were on personal devices. So this is an attempt to fix that by creating a significant burden on all of us, which on something that may arguably be working. So that's one of the problems with this that we've discussed before. I'm happy to have a chat about the other problems as well, if any of you are interested. So, thanks.
Next council meeting, can you give us good news?
Probably not.
All right. Ms. Wallace.
Yes, as promised, I have Megan here. She's going to come out and give you a update on our communication efforts over the last 3 months.
Hello. I'm not in the back to be able to make sure that you guys can actually hear me. I gave you guys a report in front of you. It's also attached in the agenda. But I did a breakdown. I think it was John asked, he wanted to see kind of like some of our most popular posts. So I have a breakdown. I started out with a 3-month comparison of our output. So basically like how many social posts we've done, how many emails, how many website postings. So I did the 3 months prior to when I started versus my first 3 months. You can kind of see the increase there. I looked at our website traffic, and to clarify, this is specifically for this 3-month window from when I started March 2nd to May 30th. Website traffic, we had 60,000 total visitors. We don't have great data on our website. That's just our current website, but when we have our new website, we're gonna have great data that I'll be able to share with you guys. In terms of our website traffic, we did have 60,000 total visitors, and then I included our top 3 most visited pages. So people are going to the homepage, utility billing, and then I thought this one was funny, the notice of application for Ross Dress for Less. I'm sure would like that one.
I do.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Because you brought it up a couple different times in a couple different meetings, so when I saw that, I had to kind of
Big marketing for 'em.
yeah. People were interested in it. And then I did kind of our top 5 or 6 social media posts that included the views, interactions, and impressions. It might not be a surprise to you that our most popular post was the announcement that we were
Splash pad
opening
is
the splash
popular.
pad. Yep.
What's an impression?
So an impression is clocking that, I actually wrote this in my notes because I knew I would get asked. The times that content is displayed on a screen, so the number of times that it shows. So it's someone scrolling through their feed and it shows up. Versus views log interactions. So it's a total interaction that someone who stopped, looked at it, they hit more to read the full post. They liked it, they shared it. In the case of the splash pad, when it blew up, I had to go figure out why it blew up and why we were having such high reach on it. It was because it was getting shared to other pages, like a page that I think it's called like Macaroni Kid, where it's a site where people have like activities for kids, and so it got shared to that, and I think that's why this one kind of blew up. And then some of the other bigger ones were power outage notifications when we were having outages, and it was PSE sent us an email about it, or we realized the power went out, and I went and took a screenshot of the outage map and let people know what was going on and what the estimated restoration time is. Those tend to blow up too. And then the mural getting completed was a big one. And then our total social post interactions, specifically on Facebook, these are all Facebook, was 368,000 views on all our posts in that 3-month window. Since then, toward the end of April, we did start a LinkedIn and Instagram account for the city. We were trying to target other social media outlets that would, one, help us reach our business community. That's where LinkedIn comes in. It is a professional networking site, so we're trying to gear posts towards our business community there, trying to brainstorm some. So like, for example, we're doing water conservation campaign that we're working on, and we're gonna customize some of those posts. So the business post for LinkedIn would be more geared toward the business community and how they can help in water conservation, whereas Facebook would be more like personal home. And then Instagram is more of a photo-based social. I'm sure some of you use it. And that targets a lower demographic or a younger demographic. It actually will target more 18 to 34. And if you look next to that graph on this report, I included our current Facebook demographics of our audience, whereas that 18 to 34 age range is only about 16% of our target audience there. So we're getting an older population on Facebook, and we're trying to target the younger population with Instagram. Yeah.
What they say about Facebook.
Yep. I mean, I've been on Facebook since its inception, before it was public. It opened when I was in college, and I got my first college account on it. So now that they're having lawsuits and stuff, I'm getting settlements of like 91 cents. Yeah. And then our current audience numbers, we had, and if you look at those numbers, those were from last week. I finalized this report and sent it to Brandy like Wednesday last week to make sure it would get into your council packet. But I actually went and looked right before this meeting, and our numbers have even increased since this report. So our current email notifications as of this evening were 371, so it went up 18 in the last week. Instagram went up 1. Instagram's slow. We're trying to get the word out. LinkedIn went up to 74, and Facebook went up 46 people in a week, and YouTube went up 7. So some of the ways we're trying to get the word out is obviously with our new website. We'll have direct links to our socials on the bottom, using our existing socials to cross-post. So like the police department already has a pretty active police department Instagram page, and so they've been kind of helping, and we've been trying to try to cross-share stuff on that to try to raise awareness that we have a city Instagram page now. Through emails, we've included those links on all the emails that go out. It's in a template now on our email system. Adding it to print materials, and then word of mouth. So like the print materials and word of mouth, I think were the reason we got 18 more email notifications from your guys' town hall last week, and from your Coffee with Council. I got a couple from over the weekend. So it's just slow and steady trying to raise that awareness to increase those audiences. And then obviously our new website is underway, and I'm very excited about it. We have our really big like setup meeting and setting up all our administrative stuff on June 29th, 30th. It's the Tuesday after I get back from vacation. I know that. And so it's a training and configuration session. And so then we're going to have a series of sessions and setting up with a estimated launch date for July 30th. So that'll be exciting. Some of the benefits of the news website are that are going to be easier to navigate for the public and staff. It's going to have integration with other software, including our new agenda management system. Streamline processes to improve efficiency. So there's going to be a lot of cross opportunity to increase outreach to the public, where people will be able to sign up for notifications, and we'll have a lot more availability to sign up for the types of things people want to cross share or sign up for, and then be able to, so like if we post something on the calendar, people can be notified if there's a new calendar event, those kinds of things. So it's definitely going to increase our opportunities for outreach. And then some other communication projects that I have been working on, developing new social media templates. We've been building those slowly. Branding materials. I've been getting, for example, our new income-based utility program with the new utility discounts. I just recreated the new info sheet that they're handing out with the application, and because it was a pretty dated brochure. So some of those kinds of projects. Creating new outreach materials. I've been working with Rob every week on his weekly mayor's message. Building the city's photo library so that we will have updated photos for our new website, because we have a slideshow feature, and just so we have more opportunities for photos for outreach purposes. Meeting and project support. I just this week turned in the city's first ever Title VI language access plan. Yeah, so we hadn't had to do that before, and we actually didn't meet the threshold to have to do it, but we were encouraged to. As we are growing, we need to make sure that we are taking the proper steps to ensure that we are meeting the language needs of our population. And then once I come back from vacation, one of my big projects I'm working on is a citywide communications plan. That's going to encompass all departments. It's going to be looking at all aspects of communications and the proper protocols. There's really going to be a blueprint for how we deal with outreach to the public, those kinds of things. And then I'm also working on a water conservation plan with Public Works and finding ways to get people to conserve water and be aware that we are going to be in a drought and we are having some water issues. So some of the topics we're talking about doing are, like Melinda sent us about like how to landscape your yard that's like drought resistant landscaping and some of those kinds of things. And then I've also just been attending different kinds of outside networking opportunities. I attended the POWA meeting last week, and just trying to meet people and get connected with different organizations in the community. So if you guys have any questions.
Yeah. Two quick questions. One, are we, and is any of that planning, getting some emergency communications pre-planned for when we get into an emergency situation? I might add that to your list if that's not on there.
So the police department actually has its own completely like separate communication plan, which I have access to. And so like within those internal emergency communications, they do have that, and it has that emergency management aspect. And my report will be integrating the police department's report in that. But yeah, and that the plan's going to be looking at how the different departments communicate with each other, and I'm sure Public Works has.
We actually have been working with the police department on implementing the RAVE system through the county, which is afforded to us at no cost. And so we're getting departmental set up, and then we'll work with your office on
The plan is going to involve a lot of meetings with every department, and like it's a big project. We don't have one like a state or a city-wide one, so.
Departments outside of our four walls too, I would think might be
Yeah,
good.
so one of the One of the outside meetings that I've been attending is the regional PIO meeting, so, and building connections with the other public information officers and outreach, so.
Question 2. As we're transitioning our website, I'm assuming there's work being done already.
Yes.
I might call out, I am having trouble. So I now don't bookmark anything. I also use more than one computer when looking at things for the city. When you Google City of Port Orchard, it doesn't always bring up the City of Port Orchard. And in fact, I have recently been getting, my first thing is the South Kitsap Chamber. Not all bad thing, because I'll be able to find my way back. But I did notice earlier today, and it was going to be a call out, it didn't even say City of Port Orchard, it said Civic Plus. So I clicked on it, and it did bring up something. So I'm guessing there's something going on with backlinks or hidden pages or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that'll help our Google. Yeah.
In the back end, they're moving everything over, and then once we get it, we get to like finesse it. So yeah, there's active movement happening, and I'm sure I've encountered some wonky things that have been happening too. Yes.
Devin, go ahead.
I was actually stoked by that because it made it easier for me to find the meeting minutes. Then I went straight to it. But this is not a question. I just want to say I think it's brilliant that you've put the city on LinkedIn, because I think that is an awesome recruiting tool.
Yes,
That the city's
I
gonna
did
really
not
benefit
touch
from
on that we're trying to get Beth set up on LinkedIn so that she can manage job postings. So that is another opportunity to fill our vacant positions, so.
This is great, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say this is great work and really appreciated, and pretty impressive what you've been able to do in a short period of time.
Hasn't been here very long.
I
Doing a
know.
lot.
Jen. Such a long period of time, she has a vacation.
No,
Sure.
tease you like that.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
So I will be leaving this Thursday, June 11th, and I come back on Tuesday, June 23rd, but then I'm immediately going to Spokane for the AWC conference. So I will not be back here in City Hall until Monday, the 29th.
Safe travels.
I was thinking about that. I was like, she should be
Are
going to AWC, but you are. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and have we announced that on AWC that the 23rd might be canceled? Because there's a lot of people going to that.
Only 2 council members,
Oh, only 2?
those 2 and myself, so we weren't planning on canceling the meeting.
Oh,
We've got
okay.
action items planned for that evening.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason it was gonna be more.
No, just 2.
So we can call in.
Yeah, right.
You guys could call in if you want to.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know how
I'm-
I
I'm-
might call in. I'm just saying, I don't know why.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Okay.
gone also, you'll need to figure out who's going to run the meeting that night,
Okay.
so.
Oh, got it.
But you don't have to do that till that night, so.
Well, I'm sure it'll be John.
Gone.
Oh, you're gone.
John's gone.
Oh, because you're
Both
going.
of us are gone, yeah.
Oh,
So I think we got to everybody. We're to our second citizen comment period. Is there anyone wishing to address the council? No, they're shaking their heads no. Is anybody online? Nobody online. Well, and now we're to good of the order. Is there anything for the good of the order? Councilmember Morrissey.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of quick things I'd like to throw out there. One, thank you. I think we had another great town hall. I would like to see that on next week's agenda for a quick recap. Again, we've kind of got the basics down, but let's just really dial that last little bit in and just have a quick conversation on things that we could change there, if at all possible. Last Friday was the senior parade. And so I'm going to weave two things kind of together because Friday and Saturday were busy days between the city, the senior parade, and then the roast and toast from the chamber. Two great events for our city. First, thank you to the team who put on the senior parade. I think we're talking about that again in the future. But I'm going to weave that back into a conversation I had with some folks along the street that evening. And what an amazing department we have in our Port Orchard Police Department. And I always want to thank Public Works and staff for the work that they do, but they were visible at our parade. She's not here tonight, but I want to give a shout out to Sergeant Donna Main. I know we already heard about her. I think, I hope we all know what a gem of an officer we have, and really somebody who I don't think is matched in most, if not all, communities in our state and maybe even in this country for what we get there. And the professionalism that she can show and the buy-in from this community because of who she is unparalleled. And she gets called out across the street. She was working a crowd more than I saw any senior work the crowd. And that's a testament to who she is in this community. That's a testament to who this department is in this community. And that's a testament to who our chief is. So the entire department deserves this kudos. So thank you for all you do, Port Orchard Police. I know you're all down, hopefully enjoying some treats downstairs after your presentation earlier. And then I'd like to leave with, I would like to encourage the rest of my peers to join me. We heard last week, while they're not official yet, so I won't throw them out in a public setting, but our population numbers have changed, and our growth has changed. And the impetus for how we can manage this change needs to dynamically shift. And so I plan on using some of these additional discoveries in our growth to lobby for additional dollars down in Olympia. And I'd hope that we can create a really good strategy for the 7 of us to work towards that, because this city's doing the things that this state's asked for in the Growth Management Act and providing density within the city limits. But that comes at a cost. And we're doing it well above the weight of any other city in this state. And I think we should be rewarded for that financially for doing what they're asking, and it shouldn't just be on the backs of the people that exist here today. So thank you for humoring me through that long good of the order.
Put a time limit on that one.
Just on that note too, if you look at, and that's why it's part of why we're successful in getting some of the federal money we get. We tell a good story. We're doing and that's when I was meeting with Senator Murray's staff. That's a conversation we were having, and she took my cell number and she goes, "I'm going to be calling you when I see opportunities," and we got $1 million for the design of that intertie when hardly anybody else got. No, we got $4 million. But the state money we got this last session for the $1 million, hardly anybody else got anything, and we got $1 million. That's huge. So yeah, and we got to continue to beat that drum, because we've got a good story, and we need to continue to tell it. So thank you for Councilmember Debney. Go ahead.
I have 3 things I would like to talk about. The first one is that this Thursday, the Givens Master Plan is going to be at the Active Club at 5 p.m. And I would like to thank, I believe it's Public Works, for the flyer that I received on that. And for whoever else received that, I'm really happy about that. Number 2 is I would like to, I guess, after I speak, put a motion out there that we can move our town hall to the mall. Our next town hall to the mall, so that we can have it in city limits. So I thought that when we saw somebody made that suggestion, the town hall made that request, I thought that was a great one that we should follow up on. And number 3, somebody else emailed about acknowledging Pride. And I definitely think that that's something that would be good for our city to do, to make strides in feeling like we have a welcoming city where people can really feel like they belong.
Okay. Others, Councilor Medina?
Yeah, I think I
Okay,
just-
go ahead.
Okay, a couple things. We have some people in the room that were at Coffee with Council in the town hall. Received good feedback. I know Scott and myself sent out emails that Brandy had forwarded, and so if you get, if you get the Coffee with Council and have questions on them, please reach out to us about the comments that were made. I thought it was interesting that people want to host our town halls. I think that's awesome. I mean, it shows that they're connecting, whether we have it at the Lutheran Church or and then have it down next time. I think it's great. I think it's an avenue. We had 30-some people, I believe, at the town hall, which is awesome. I agree with John. We're dialing it in. Let's hit it hard and fast. I would, on your comment about the acknowledgement of pride, what I would ask is that we, since Debbie's here, is that we follow up with the inclusion committee of the who came up with our what did we approve tonight? I'm sorry, our vision statement, and have them come back to us about what would be the appropriate proclamations or recognitions from the city, because there are a million good things that are out there, and which ones to recognize. So that's where I would like to let them do their work, and then we can take a look at it. Thanks.
Councilor Medina?
Sure, I got a few. So bathrooms, you had sent a letter to the port, I think, at council's direction. Did we get any feedback on the port and keeping bathrooms open in the evening?
We never sent a letter. I never got direction from the full council to do that. I did talk to the port about it.
Okay.
And they have absolutely no interest in, they keep their bathrooms open during their business hours because of the vandalism problems and unwanted activity, from prostitution to drug activity that they were experiencing in their restrooms. And so I asked them if they would consider leaving them open, and they said they're not interested in doing that.
So effectively, there's no public bathrooms downtown.
We lock ours as well at the lift station.
Yeah, that's locked.
No, that's locked all the time.
Yeah, so that's locked. By the boat ramp, those are shut down.
At the end of the business day, correct.
Yeah,
Right, I'm
about-
talking about in the evenings.
Yeah. And
I
that's why
just
we're.
was curious about the response from the port, so.
Yeah, I asked them, I went down and talked to the marina manager, and
Okay.
But Councilmember Diener, that's why I'd still like to bring it back to the work study, which I got second on, for conversation, because maybe we can partnership with the port. And I think it's definitely a valid conversation we need to talk about, because otherwise there's no public bathrooms after 4:30 or 5 down there. And so maybe it can stay open at least till 9 o'clock. But I think it's something that it should be talked about, and maybe we talk about it with the port again and bring it back to a discussion for the work study.
Yeah, I'm happy to engage in that. It's kind of a travesty that we've got FIFA and no public bathrooms. But, so that's my first item. I also, Heidi and I had a bit of a discussion about Pride, and maybe not necessarily on the same page, but I also think that there's a number of events that we should recognize, and Pride is only just one of those. And I agree that we should have that discussion. It might be uncomfortable for people, but we should get out there and we should recognize the reality of not everybody's going to be comfortable in these discussions. So
I will
that's my
share.
2 cents.
I provide proclamations for anyone, valid proclamations for anyone that asks. So I was never, a proclamation was never requested from any organization.
Yeah. There's things we can plan for, right? And maybe this is one of those. And I know that, in the county building, every month you see new decorations on the main floor going in, celebrating something going on that month.
And that's why I wanted to put it over on the inclusion committee to take a look at and bring it back to us.
Sure.
You know.
Sure. There's also, National Planning Awareness Month. There's things that we could be looking at. And then I wanted to point out that Ecology is in the middle of some shoreline management rulemaking, and they are going to be releasing their final public draft for final testimony here real soon. And I think it's important for the city to stay plugged into that, because there's some really potentially big policy shifts that we might want to weigh in. And like I've mentioned to others, I can't say that what they're proposing is good or is not good for the shorelines. But what I can say, it's going to be very expensive for shoreline owners who have anything but no bank property or soft shore armoring property. So for example, one of the things we could hear is that currently we have no net loss requirements for development on shorelines. Well, we might see that there be a requirement for net gain in ecological functions on shoreline properties. Again, not saying that's good or bad, but that might mean that somebody has to tear down part of a bulkhead to restore ecological gain, and that comes at a cost perhaps of property destruction. So I just feel like we should be plugged into that, and I think we share concerns in all likelihood that other cities share.
Is that something we would cover in land use?
We could. It's pretty in the weeds kind of stuff, but absolutely should get some feedback from Nick.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Go ahead.
Definitely. June 1st, I did a ride-along. It was pretty awesome. There's no action, but you don't need action to sit there and look at the computer screen and learn how the calls are coming in and how they handle them and how they're handled like throughout the city. See how bad the radios are inside their vehicles, but it's not their radios, it's Syncom. The radios are all new. But yeah, you sit there and you see how they prioritize things and how they answer calls, and it's really informative. Really informative. Drove around, saw how the officer interacted with people, and it was perfect. It was really cool. There's a missing person, and saw how one officer interacted with the other officer, and how they pinged a phone to find out roughly where the person is, and through Syncom, and tell me the process, how that goes about. Through the phone carrier is the one that has to ping the phone, and so it takes a few minutes to get it back. But there's all sorts of things that I don't think people might realize actually happens inside of the cop car versus driving around. We did go downtown. They did exit some youth out of there as well. But I definitely encourage it. The officer that I drove around with, he's the supervisor. He enjoys having the ride-alongs. He's done them in his previous jobs as well, and he's really good at dumbing it down to a non-officer law enforcement person, so you can pick up on it. Senior parade was great. Public Works, Chris is fantastic. He does such a good job. He does a great job. And the officers, everyone was beyond more than helpful. So I thank everybody for doing that. SK Fire, they were fantastic. Showing up. They show up every year. No issue. Chief Brown, he drove in the parade. It was great. Only had one issue, because we don't allow confetti to be used. So I exited out our whole baseball team, basically, out of there. They were warned 4 times, and so when they got to the end, I exited them out, and they ain't gonna go back. And the point of telling you that story is, all their parents are my friends. They got family there. And I'm thinking, and we have an 8-foot tall sign that we had professionally made. You can't miss it when you start out. So I was thinking there's going to be some backlash from these families, and just kids having fun. Couldn't be more opposite. Couldn't be more opposite. Not only do they say thank you so much, on. Those same parents came down here at 6 a.m. with blowers and blew off all of
the mess they made.
all of Bay Street.
The kids didn't do it. The parents had to do it.
I'm sure.
Thank you. I was thinking
I'm sure it's a late night. But it's also the morning of graduation. So it kind of shows that, right? Like, I mean, that the parents care and they are grateful for for it, and all Portrait Boulevard was all cleaned up, and it was great, you know. So that was cool. Last thing. Oh, Brandy, thank you so much for helping out on the senior parade and doing the meetings and all that. So thank you. I guess I'm kind of confused, like Heidi is, on how do you get things to a work study. I thought that I was going through the proper channels, doing the right thing. I wrote a letter, explained all of it, sent it to the committee. The committee even put the topic of the adult-themed stores on the land use. Both times they were just pushed aside, and there was no conversation. No, it was. This is the last time there was no conversation about it, and it was said that it was going to be discussed at the retreat. And I was really curious how it was going to be discussed at the retreat because I didn't get a retreat list. So I'm going to ask for a show of hands if we can just move it to a work study.
Yeah.
We down for that?
Well, wait, just to hold on a second, because the last I remember of land use is it was coming back to land use. We had asked for additional.
For a third time?
If I can finish.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. That we were waiting for some more additional information and clarification. This was not a needed to be addressed today item, and we were getting some more information about what other cities were doing and clarifying. So this was not it was not an urgent item, and it's still on the list, but we had not killed it. If you want to take it to, if you want to bring it up to have work study, that's fine. But again, it's kind of like that's what committees are for.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. We did discuss it, and then we were waiting on language, and Ms. Archer did give us language. So then we were supposed to come back. I don't think we've met. I think it would be this next meeting.
It was on 2 agendas. It was on 2. It was discussed 2 times.
Okay, then.
Or not discussed.
I only remember talking about it once, asking for language. We have language
Correct.
now, and so then we were supposed to talk about it again with the language. But I'm with you. I think it makes sense to move it to a work study because we now have the language.
Yeah, I don't think it's a complex topic.
Well, and then that way everybody can look at the language that came out of the committee. So I don't think that I mean, it's just from my perspective, I know that it was put on the agenda, and obviously I'm still learning the process. In my head, I didn't think that we were trying not to deal with it. And in fact, literally the other day I saw, oh, we have the language now. Like I literally saw the email. I was like, oh yeah, we have the language now. We should be moving forward on this.
Yeah, I watched both of them, and
I think Councilor Mercenary had raised his hand.
it's not good of the order, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I did. So technically, from what I'm hearing, it has not come out of that committee as of yet as being an approved item to
As a
move forward.
recommendation.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I think we're moving to a work study makes sense from my perspective, because I feel like the committee did its job in the sense of we reviewed it and we realized, oh, we need, and we directed Ms. Archer to provide us with language. So I felt like we were definitely trying to do our job, or I should say what I think the committee is for. So if we move it to a work study so that every other council person can see that language, I could see why that works.
Well, my point being, and I'm not arguing this at all, but my point being, it needs to come out of a committee meeting by a majority vote before it comes to work study, unless we do exactly what we're doing here now. And I'm in favor of discussing this, bringing this forward to the full council, but I just want to I wanted to be clear on what this process was to this point. But I believe this has to do with window screening, adult-themed ordinance changing or code changes.
We did discuss this probably 2 years ago, 18 months ago, after we had some public concerns brought to our attention. And at that point, we were thinking we were going to have a particular business that was in business at that point grandfathered in, so that any ordinance we wrote or code we changed would not affect them. That business is no longer in town. So, Ms. Archer, if we were to come as a council and change our code to address this, we would not have any grandfathered businesses affected
Correct.
moving forward, correct?
Yeah,
So I think it's a good time to bring it forward.
I will, just if I may here, next week's, we won't have, we won't be ready next week.
Absolutely
So now I'm just giving, just logistically, the Land Use Committee is meeting July 8th. The first work study it's going to get onto is in late July. So there's not going to be any harm in the Land Use Committee touching it again and making sure there's clear direction, and then bringing it, sounds like we're going to add it to the July work study. Does Councilman Rosebud?
Yeah, my only last comment was, we don't have any language to present at a work study yet. That would be one of the next meetings. So you're correct on that, Eric. You know, on that, was it a dead issue out of our committee? No. You know, so having committees saying, I would like language out of the committee, both keeps the committee process moving forward, which it should, and that should be acceptable. But we don't have any clear language at this point in time. So even if we did, we couldn't spend 5 minutes on it next week. So that's where I would agree with the mayor. July 8th work study, July 8th meeting of land use.
Yeah.
And then the meeting for work study, we will present there.
Appreciate it.
If that meets your expectations.
Sounds great to me. I just want it to keep moving forward. So
And that's a good point. Thank you.
More on this topic.
I just want to say there was not a sense of urgency to get this done. We had the one closed down. Yeah, I know. But, you know, we've had the one business, and I don't know if there's ever been one preceding that. But as soon as we get some language.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah, I was just kind of on the town hall. I wanted to give a shout out to Sarah Butler. I didn't mention that we had on May 16th was our volunteer, and there was like 40 plus volunteers, and she was head of that, putting all the beauty bark, and then doing the storefront planters. And she did such a good job just organizing that whole thing. And yeah, our whole beautification down there, we all know. It's lovely. And to another shout out to Public Works, this must be your night, because you guys always did a great job helping out down there.
Right. Hearing nothing else, our meeting is adjourned.